So the element bromine turns to a liquid at -7 degrees Celsius, and it turns to a gas at 59 degrees Celsius. From the temperature at which bromine becomes a liquid, by how many degrees must the temperature change for it to turn into a gas? Well, whenever you see a problem like this, your first reaction should simply be make a number line. Number line from left to right. Then ask yourself, what numbers, or what's important about this problem? -7 is important. -7 as well as 59. Why are these important? Well, -7 is where it turns into a liquid. So I'm just going to mark -7 degrees Celsius right here. We'll put a little 0 right here, degrees Celsius. And then the next one I have is when it turns into a gas at 59 degrees Celsius. It's asking me an essential question. It's asking me, how far is -7 from 59? Or how many spaces would I have to go from -7 to get to 59? Well, let's do what we know. Let's use what we know first. Make it easy. I know that I'm going to have to move 7 spaces here to get to 0. So that's 7 spaces plus from 0 to 59, I'm going to move 59 spaces. But here's the beauty of math. I need to figure out what 7 plus 59 is. I know that 6 plus 1 equals 7, right? So I could simply say that this is equal to 1 plus 59 plus 6, which is simply equal to 60 plus 6, which is 66 degrees Celsius. Here it's stating, Lamont keeps track of his math grades by recording them in his table. He wants to keep an average of 90. So he can list the amount that each grade is above or below 90. Complete this table. It says that his first test he received an 83, which put him 7 below 90. His first test, a 94, put him 4 above. Third test was a 79, which put him 11 below. His next test, he was 7 above. So that means that he would have to have 97, because 97 is literally 90 plus 7. Now 56, or 96 that is, my bad. 96 is 6 more than 90. And 3 less than 90 is 87. Now use the numbers above to find out whether Lamont's average is below or above 90. So I have 83 plus 94 plus 79 plus 97 plus 96 plus 87. I do believe that gives me 500 and something, but for the sake of time, I'm going to be looking equals. I was correct. We'll find out what that equals, and then you'll divide it by the amount of tests that he had. So we had 6, right? So if I were to divide that by 6, I would get 89.33%. If I were to add up above and below 90, I would have -7 plus 4 minus 11 plus 7 plus 6 minus 3 divided by 6. This numerator will be equal to -7 plus 4 gives us -3 And if I were to subtract 11 from that, I would get negative 14. And then add 7, I would get negative 7. Or to add 6 to that, I would get negative 1. And if I were to take away 3 from that, I would get negative 4. So negative 4 divided by 6 is also equal to negative 2/3, which is equal to 66, or 0.66666, repeating, which is basically how far away he was from getting a perfect score of 90 that he wanted. So let's move on. It says here, rich expressions are equivalent to negative 9. Mark the ones that are correct. So 8 minus 8 is 0. 0 plus 9 is 9. 8 does not work. How can I rewrite this that I have in brackets as something that's an addition problem? Well, remember, subtraction is just adding the opposite. So I have 3 adding this and changing the opposite of negative 6 would give me 6 plus negative 18. Now, put these things in brackets just for my brain. Does it need to be there? They could not be there. They could have more brackets if I wanted. It doesn't really matter. It's just to help you organize your work. So 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus negative 18 is equal to negative 9, which is something that equals negative 9. That's good. What is negative 1 plus 7 minus negative 3? Well, that's equal to negative 7 plus 1, or negative 1 plus 7 is 6 minus negative 3, which is equal to the same thing as the addition problem of 6 plus 3, which is equal to 9, which means C does not work either. Now take a look at this. We have 4 minus 5 minus 8. 4 minus 5 is equal to negative 1. And if I were to take 8 from negative 1, I'd get negative 9. And that's what I want. Good. So tell whether each equation is true or false. I have negative 4 things, and then I add another negative 7 things. Would I get a positive thing out of that? No. Because two negative numbers always, when added together, will give me another negative number. Now it's 5 plus negative 4. That's 1. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1. Negative 1 is not the same as 1, thus B is false. I have a negative 10 here and a negative 10 here. I have a 7 here and a 7 here, so this one is going to be true, because each one of these is going to equal negative 3. 14 minus 3 is 11. 10 plus 1 is 11. So this would be true as well. This next problem states, a duck is sitting on a ledge that is 11 feet above the surface of a pond. The duck gives 27 feet straight, dives 27 feet straight down to get food at the bottom of the pond. Which expression represents the position of the bottom of the pond in relative feet to its surface? First thing you want to do, even before you read this question, is, and try to get into this question, is ask yourself, what's so important about this problem? I know there's a duck 11 feet above, and the duck dives down 27 feet. So since this is above, 11 is going to be a positive number. And since this is diving straight down, 27 is going to be a negative number. So those are the two numbers I think are going to be important. And it wants to know which expression represents the position of the bottom of the pond in feet relative to the surface. So if we wanted to figure out exactly how deep that pond was, we would need to figure out basically how far that duck traveled down. I'm going to add it to how far the duck was up originally. So the duck went down 27 feet, but he was originally up 11. So our answer is going to be D. Which of the following are negative integers? Select all that are correct. The sum of two positive integers. So if I had 1 plus 1 or 2 plus 2, any positive plus a positive is going to give me a positive. So a positive number plus a positive number will always equal a positive number. Now, the sum of two negative numbers. If I had a negative number plus a negative number, I'd surely get a negative number. So these, which of the following are negative integers? So A does not work, but B does. Now C says the difference of a positive integer and an integer that is greater than it. So the difference of a positive integer, so that means some integer that's positive subtracted by an integer that is greater than this one here. So this first plus sign I got right here. So this is going to be a plus 1 more 2. So if I had, say, the lowest one that we could do for positive integers would be 1 minus 2, or 2 minus 3, 3 minus 4, 4 minus 5. They all give me the same answer of negative 1. So this one would also be 1. Now, before we go on, we definitely need to read the bottom one. It says the difference of a negative integer and an integer that is greater than it but is not its opposite. So the difference of a negative integer, so I have a negative number right here, a negative number, a whole number that can either be positive or negative, and an integer that is greater than it, but it is a difference. So we have an integer that is an integer that is greater than it, but not its opposite. So I could say, let's say negative 1 subtracted by negative 1, that would give me 0. What about negative 2 minus negative 3? Or minus negative 1. Give me negative 1. What about negative 3 minus negative 2? That'd still give me negative 1. So D would work as well.